Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Generation X Nation. We're gonna do a real quick video, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. Before we get started, as always, thank you to everybody who's subscribed to my channel, who has liked the channel, who has left a comment. I definitely appreciate it. Does not go unnoticed. I will be getting back to all of you guys. Okay. And with that being said, we're gonna get started. As my disclaimer, everything on my channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I do my commentary week to week based on the episodes that airs, with the understanding that things are edited out of the episode. So with that, we're going to get started. And let's start with Pinky. Pinky is sitting around with her team trying to discuss this new movie series or whatever she's trying to create about her life. Pinky likes to remind us that she was an executive producer on The Maury Show. We get it, Pinky. My question to you is, you might want to focus on getting your financial situations taken care of, getting your chapter bankruptcy taken care of, because all we see whenever you come on the screen is some new business you getting started or working on. And we want to see more of Pinky. We want to see it's a housewives. We need to see you as a housewives. We understand that you have a business, but we also understand that you have a husband and kids and a home. Let's see some of that action, okay? Because for right now, all I seem to see you doing is advertising your business. And I know a lot of people say, hey, these platforms are great for our business. We can advertise, what we got going on while we're on these shows. But Pinky, that's all you do. Good Lord, give us something more, Pinky. All right. We'll talk about the auditions later on. Now, next scene, they having a powwow, or as Jackie Christie like to say, the Ponderosa down to the Cynthia's house. Okay. And Cynthia showed us her little boo thing. He's nice. Cynthia don't have a type though. This guy's definitely different from Peter, who's definitely different from Mike, who's definitely different from Leon. Cynthia don't have a type. I'm gonna say that, but he seems to make her very, very happy. Like Portia said, we ain't seen that many teeth in Cynthia's mouth since she been on the show. However, the ladies are sitting there having a powwow. And that would be Phaedra, Cynthia, Drew, Portia, and Angela, the OGs. And they had Angela in there. And I like that because Angela fits right in with them. And they're talking about the meeting with Kay, Michelle, and Portia. And Portia said, look, we decided to talk to each other before we talk to other people. So they came to a resolve. Then Angela said, I sat down with Shamia, and Portia got on up and left because Angela mentioned that, Shamia came in a little hot. She told Shamia about her sleeping around with people on the Falcons team and the Hawks teams, and about her being outside because her husband see her outside. Portia said, my turn to exit. I'm out. I am not going to hear any of this. And I get it, Portia, because if they find out you was there or heard anything, at the end of the day, Shamia is going to blame it all on you. But Angela said that whole conversation went to destination hell. All right. Um, as they were talking, they get a text message, Cynthia and Phaedra. Nobody else did. And she invited them to Gerald's birthday party, which was happening the next day at 8 o'clock that night. And Portia said, oh, y'all just getting the invite? Dennis got one last week. Shamir, why'd you wait till the last minute to invite them? Or did you forget? Because it seems to me, I know Kelly had to know about the party because that's your BFF. And apparently Kay Michelle knew about the party because that's also one of your BFFs. But you didn't tell the other girls. You just told them the day before. And she talking about, oh, it was a surprise. I wanted people to know at the last minute. Girl, quit lying, Shamir. We already know Dennis had his party a week, his invite to the party a week ahead of time. And this is what we talk about, Shamir. You got to be careful on these shows when y'all be not telling whole truths, because remember, they're going to flash back and show us what you really said. All right. Shamia's party was really nice. First things first, everybody looked wonderful. I'm sorry. The costumes, the outfits were absolutely gorgeous. Now, noticeably, Portia wasn't there, Drew wasn't there, and Angela wasn't there. Shamia, you were wrong for that. You should have invited all the girls. And if they turned down the invitation, that's fine. But this is a show about the housewives, and I felt everybody should be invited to everything. Um, Portia invited Shamia to her house when she had her gathering there, when that guy with the beard, I think Mike, was there. She did not tell you not to come, even though y'all weren't on good terms. So I don't see why that was an issue. Drew, what was your issue with Drew? I thought Drew had the issue with Kay Michelle. And I can understand you mad at Angela, but you still could have invited her. Because you sat in, and then after everything was said and done, you're sitting there talking about you and Angela meeting, and you gave a whole different version of what Angela said, but you were in there calling her soft squash and Bigfoot and all of that. That was you, Shamia. Shamia and K. Michelle and Kelly seems to play that, um, what do you call them, bully and victim mentality. They like to go out here and start crap, and then they like to play victim. And that's what I see them doing all the time, and almost in every scene. Portia and Giselle happened to sit down, and I forgot they had their podcast during COVID. It was actually pretty good because I used to watch it every now and then. But this is a scene you girls need to be looking at. You see how them two housewives sat there, had their little food, their little shot, and they conversated. That's what housewives is about. You may have some differences. You may argue and fight, but you are supposed to come together at some point. And y'all keep drawing these lines with each other where y'all don't try to make up. Shamia doesn't give me Shamia doesn't give me the vibe that she's putting any effort into trying to be cool with Angela. K. Michelle doesn't give me the vibe that she's putting any effort in and trying to be cool with Drew or resolve their differences. The only reason she gave a half effort to Portia because she know Portia is one of the leads on the show. Portia has basically said, "I'm done." And I don't blame Portia. I brought you into this group. I'm trying to help you acclimate, show you how to get around and make friends. And I'm tired of you turning your back on me. But hey, at the end of the day, if you know something about me, come see me first. Stop asking these other girls. I appreciate that out of Portia. Um, then after that, K. Michelle and Phaedra had a little fishing trip where Phaedra said, "Hey, all the girls going to be there in support of Drew doing the national anthem." And she said, "Oh, I'm not going to come. I'm going to be sick that day." Once again, they're trying to bring you into the fold. They're trying to show you the rules of engagement on the show, and you keep being defiant, K. Michelle. I don't know why. So then the last scene kind of everybody's at the national anthem. Drew did an excellent job. I'm sure they came in here thinking she's not going to be able to sing. We all know Drew can sing. She did an excellent job. Shamia asking her, "You want me to practice with you?" And Drew said, "No, I'm good. Well, I do it all the time." Girl, this is national anthem. She know that song. She do it just as much as you do it. You're not the only one to sing national anthem at the Hawk games, okay? Now, at the end of the day, Angela did tell Portia about her messing around with the men from the Hawks, and said that, and Portia ended up leaving the thing. So I get it. But I felt like, were you just trying to be funny, Shamia? I mean, we know you and Drew are both singers. I think Shamia wanted somewhat of a sing off on camera where her and Drew are practicing, and she trying to show Drew how to hit a note or something, and Drew wasn't falling for it. I'm glad Drew is catching on to their little shenanigans. That's all I'm saying. Now, K. Michelle did show up late. She missed the national anthem. And then when Drew said, "Well, thank you for coming." "Well, I didn't come for you. I came from the family." Once again, K. Michelle missing the moment. All you had to do was say, "I'm sorry I was a little late, but let me go over here and say hi to the family." That's it. You didn't have to throw that shade in there. And then when they start plotting and scheming on you, as you say, you upset. And look how rude you are. How do you expect these women to accept you and bring you into their fold when you keep being so disrespectful to them? That's all I'm saying. All right. So after the national anthem, Shamia invites Drew out. And I don't know if Drew thought the other girls was coming, but Shamia and K. Michelle had Drew kind of cornered there in that restaurant. And I think Drew realized I probably shouldn't have came here when I noticed nobody else was here but me. So they're having this conversation. Drew is asking K. Michelle point blank, "What have I done to you? What is it?" K. Michelle is over there mumbling nothing that makes sense. "You know what you did," or whatever. And Drew is like, "Let me know. Speak up." And then Shamia said, "Well, you keep bringing up your dude's name with her name," or something to that effect. And Drew was like, "What are you talking about?" And then they show the flashbacks where Drew is asking each and every one of them, "Do I bring up this guy's name?" And you, Shamia, said no. So why is it all changed now? You sitting there with K. Michelle. This is what I mean about bully and victim. This is what I'm talking about. And I'm like, you're starting this fight and then you want to play victim. K. Michelle is being rude. And so I'm like, you know what? At this point, Drew, I would have got up and left. But she continued. She talking about you lying on me. She said, you know what? At the end of the day, she said, you know what, Shamia, you lie a lot. You was a lap dog last year, and now you're trying to be a lap dog this year. She can speak for herself. And then Shamia was like, why you doing this name calling and stuff like that? And I don't know what Shamia was thinking. And then she started talking about she started talking something about Drew doing a name calling, but her and Drew started going back and forth. K Michelle grabs her bag, say, I'm going to the bathroom. And then Shamia's like, you ain't leaving. Give me your purse. She leaves her purse and she walks out, gets in Shamia's car. And Shamia's like, you left your purse. And Drew's like, oh, she left her Chanel bag here. Well, the assistant comes in and grabs the Chanel bag. Drew and Shamia sitting there. Shamia gets up, say a few things, and she walks on out with K Michelle. Drew, I don't know how you let them set you up like that. Now they get in the car, and all of a sudden they want to blast the national anthem and start singing it. I'm sick of K Michelle and Shamia at this point. K Michelle, you got that Nicki Minaj syndrome. Nicki Minaj don't want to get along with any female rappers, no matter how nice they've been to her. Every female rapper out here seem to be Nicki Minaj has a problem with, and that is K Michelle. Every female that you see on these reality shows they put you on, especially if they're a singer, you got a problem with. Drew hasn't done anything to you that we really seen for you to be this level of hatred toward her. Now, maybe stuff going on the editing room floor or behind the scenes, but right now in these moments, I don't get the energy that you have for Drew. It's really unwarranted. But you always been that way. When you was on Love and Hip Hop, you had the same energy for Lyric or any other female that was a singer. I forget the other girl out in California that song. You had the same energy for all of them. They can't sing. I don't know them. Where's your number one hit? And you doing the same thing with Drew. You don't know how to operate in a girl group dynamics. Like real bosses, real girls who trying to be your friend. Them girls in Love and Hip Hop wasn't trying to be your friend. They could care less. But these ladies are trying to bring you into the fold, and you keep failing the test. Portia tried to bring you in. She done gave up on you. She said, hey, do what you got to do. Just let me know ahead of time. The other, Phaedra is giving you tips on how to maneuver the group. You don't care. You, for some reason, have an issue with females. And maybe it's because you wants to be the center of attention. You want everything thrown at you because you K Michelle. I don't know. But these ladies do not need you. I said it before. They don't need you for any shine or limelight. They've been doing it without you. Drew has really stepped up this season, and I love it because normally she's in the back shadows because you would have had a Kenya and a Candy on the show. So you don't have that now. So Drew can be more of the forefront. And we're loving Drew speaking up for herself and looking good. Her fashions is on point. Kay Michelle, you seem to find somebody who you think is weak in the group and that you can bully, and that's who you focus on. And I think you thought Drew would be the one because she's a singer, and I think you thought she was weak because what we've seen on her in the show previously, and especially the dealings with her and her husband in the basement. So you thought you can come in there and use all that on on Drew, and it's not working. It's just not coming off well. Shamia, pick a team. Pick a team. I believe, and nobody's going to tell me anything different, that you are feeding information to K Michelle and Kelly about Portia and anybody else because you want everybody to hate Portia or dislike Portia as much as you do, and it's just not working. And every time you see somebody getting close to Portia, you try to pull some way to bring them back. Now, K Michelle is back in good graces of Portia. Pinky is not having an issue with Portia. Now it's just you and Kelly. Y'all on team, the island by yourself. And now you're trying to bring Kay back over there by making her jump down Drew's throat for whatever reason. I don't get it. I don't get it. And what's really weird to me is at the party, Kelly over there crying over Gerald like y'all been knowing each other forever. Gerald, you're such a good father and a great husband, and this couple's goals. Kelly, go sit your drunk butt down. That was weird as hell to me. Like, why are you all over Gerald like that? Okay, and you telling people to watch their husbands around Portia, Shamir, you might want to keep an eye on her, okay? And then this audition that Pinky had. And that's the last I'm gonna talk about. You wanted Drew to come in there. You called her up. She told you to send me the info. Apparently, you didn't send her the info. You just wanted her to come in there, what, for screen time, for a storyline. Drew shows up, Shamia's there too. Shamia comes in there, she does her little thing. You say, "Oh, you nailed it." That's what real friends are about. Drew's a real friend too. She came in to support you, but Drew's a trained actress. Now you may not like her because she ain't in no $1 billion projects, but you paying $40,000 and you want her to audition. I'm sure she could do the part that you want her to do for $40,000 film. Let's be real. Pinky, it's not like you doing this mega Hollywood blockbuster movie. It's $40,000. Okay? So Drew shouldn't even have to audition. Either you want her or you don't. But Drew said there is a process. If you want me to audition, there's a process. And she's right. You were trying to use a friend card on Drew. But you're trying to tell Shamia she's a better friend than Drew because Shamia went on and auditioned. You sent her the information. I don't know. Drew said she didn't get the information. And she's not going to just do a dry run for free because if it didn't work out, then what would you been saying? If she would have failed at the national anthem, y'all would have talked about her. If she would have failed at the audition for that movie, y'all would have had something to say about her. Drew moving smart. She just got to not let herself get set up with one of the little meetings that Shamia set up for her. Shamia and freaking Kelly and K. Michelle are playing bully and victim at the same time. And they've been doing it all season. And it's just not coming off well. I like Shamia. She seemed like a fun girl. She's absolutely gorgeous. But you got to change the direction in which your character is going on this show. Same thing, K. Michelle. Stop running. What are you running for? Sit down and have conversations with people and stop talking in codes. Just like she said, you're talking in codes. Use full sentences. We have no clue what the problem is. And the only problem I see with Shamia is Shamia has an issue with Portia. And if I had to go off my own instinct, I know people say that Portia jealous of Shamia's lifestyle. I don't think so. I think Shamia is a little jealous of Portia and her popularity and the fact that she is the center of the show. And I think Shamia thought because she had the most money in the biggest house, she would be the center of the show and everybody would love her. And it just didn't work out that way. That's all I got to say. With that being said, that is my review of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I hope y'all kind of understood what I said. Don't hate Shamia. I don't hate Kelly. I just don't like the way in which they move. It K. Michelle either. And the last thing I'm gonna say about Kelly before I go, and I meant to say it, that white T-shirt in confessionals. I don't know what y'all doing over there, Bravo, and I don't care if it's a designer shirt. I don't care if she paid 140, 50, $200 for it. That is unacceptable. Y'all know in confessionals, everybody looks good. If she's gonna wear a freaking T-shirt, then you should have made her dress it up. She should have had a belt on it, some jewelry, a chain, a necklace, something to make the shirt look worthwhile. Sitting there with a plain white T-shirt while everybody else is spending hundreds of, if thousands, in their confessional look, it's not right. It's not fair to me. I'm just saying it's not fair to the audience. And Cynthia, I had to say this. Portia said she ain't seen that many teeth in Cynthia's mouth in a while. Cynthia, that boo thing you got going on, um, he's nice looking. Now, I will give it to him. I love his accent and Mr. Prince. But one thing about Cynthia, Cynthia ain't got no preference. Cynthia done dated Peter, who's totally different from Mike, who's totally different from Leon, and now this Prince dude. All four of those guys are totally opposite of each other. But one thing I can tell, he definitely makes Cynthia happy. So kudos and congratulations to you, Cynthia, for finding love. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is Gen X Nation. And as always, you guys have a great rest of your days. Peace, and I'm out.